Good morning, student! Kamusta ka ngayong araw na ito? Nasagutan mo ba ng matiwasay ang nagdaang module? Andito na naman tayo sa isang bagong video lesson na iyong magiging gabay upang mas matuto at maintindihan mo ang susunod na topic. Ako nga pala si Sir Raymar Emerson Lubungen ng PKHS, ang iyong magiging gabay sa buong video lesson na ito. Before you watch this video and we start the content of our lesson, you need to follow some rules for the safety of your health. Una, umupo na maayos habang nanonood ng video at i-activate ang eye comfort sa iyong cellphone o kaya kapag laptop ang iyong gamit ay i-adjust ang brightness hanggang sa hindi na masakit ito sa iyong mata. Pangalawa, siguraduhin maliwanag at maliwalas ang lugar ng iyong kinauupuan. Pangatlo, siguraduhin nasa normal ang lakas ng volume ng gadget na iyong ginagamit upang hindi sumakit ang iyong tenga habang nanonood ng video lesson na ito. The topic we're going to discuss in this video lesson is all about the introduction to the limits of functions. You can find this topic in the module of the Basic Calculus Quarter 3, Week 1, Module 1 with the title of Limits of Functions. With the corresponding marks, illustrate the limit of a function using the table of values in the graph of the function and distinguish between the limit of f as x approaches to c and f of c. Let's have a little introduction about limits in Basic Calculus. The concept of a limit is the building block on which all the underlying concepts of calculus are based. It helps us to describe, in precise way, the behavior of f of x when x is close, but not equal, to a particular value c. Limits are the backbone of calculus, and calculus is called the mathematics of change. Now let's have the proper definition of the limit of a function. Let f be a function defined at every number in some open interval containing c, except possibly at the number c itself. If the value of f is arbitrary close to the number L for all the values of x sufficiently close to c, then the limit of f of x as x approaches to c is L. This is written as the limit of f as x approaches to c is L. Well, let's have an example. For example number 1, what's the limit of x plus 2 as x approaches to 4? The arrow pointing at 4 indicates that x is approaching 4 from the left side and from the right side. This means that x can take on values less than 4 and values greater than 4. It cannot take as a value because it is just approaching 4. The first thing to do to find the limit of the given function is to construct the table of values. Now let's draw a table of values that is less than 4. For the table of values for x, we have 3.9, 3.99, 3.999 thousandths, and 3.9999 ten-thousandths, and 4. In order to solve for the value of y, we're going to substitute the value of x into the function. The first solution, if x is equal to 3.9, we have the function x plus 2 equals to 3.9 plus 2, and the final answer is 5.9. So we're going to fill in the table with the answer 5.9. For the next value of x, we have 3.99. So if x equal to 3.99, we have x plus 2 as our function. Then in our solution, we have 3.99 plus 2, and our final answer is 5.99. And for the next value of x, we have 3.999 thousandths. So if x equal to 3.999 thousandths, we have x plus 2 as our function. We have in our solution 3.999 thousandths plus 2, the final answer is 5.999 thousandths. And for the next value of x, if x is equal to 3.99999 ten thousandths, and we have the function x plus 2, in our solution we have 3.99999 ten thousandths plus 2. We have the result 5.99999 ten thousandths. And for the final value of x, you have x is equal to 4. And our function x plus 2, we have our solution 4 plus 2, the final answer is 6. Now let's draw another table of values, which the table of values contains greater than 4. So we have 4, 4.1 ten thousandths, 4.1 thousandths, and 4.1 hundredths, and 4.1. For the first value, if x equal to 4, we have x plus 2 is equal to 4 plus 2, and the final answer is 6. And for the next value, if x equal to 4.1 ten thousandths, we have the function x plus 2 and equals to 4.1 ten thousandths plus 2. Our final result is 6.1 ten thousandths. If x equal to 4.1 thousandths, x plus 2 is equal to 4.1 thousandths plus 2. We have the final result x 6.1 thousandths. If x equal to 4.01, we have x plus 2 is equal to 4.1 hundredths plus 2 is equal to 6.1 hundredths. And for the last value of x, we have if x equal to 4.1, x plus 2 is equal to 4.1 plus 2, and we have the answer 6.1. If we're going to combine the two table of values, we can observe that as x approaches to 4 from the left, f of x approaches to 6, and as x approaches to 4 from the right, f of x approaches to 6. After using table of values, we're going to use another way to find the limits of the function using the graphical representations. The graph of the function x plus 2 is given in the illustration. As we can see, as x approaches to 4 from the right, we have a value 6, and as x approaches to 4 from the left, we have a common value of y that we can get, and that is 6. And for this, we can now conclude that the limit of x plus 2 as x approaches to 4 is equal to 6. This means that the limit of x plus 2 is 6 as x approaches to 4 from either side. Now let's have another example. For example number 2, evaluate the limit of x squared plus 2 as x approaches to negative 1. In here, the value of the constant is negative 1, and the function is x squared plus 1. We construct a table of values approaching to negative 1 from the left and approaching negative 1 from the right. This will be the table of values we're going to use. Now we're going to fill up this table of values in order to find the limit of the function. Now we're going to fill up the table of values. The values of x are negative 1.2, negative 1.1 hundredths, negative 1.1 thousandths, and negative 1. If x equal to negative 1.2, we have the function x squared plus 1. We have in our solution the square of negative 1.2 plus 1 equals to 1.44 plus 1 is 2.44. If x equal to negative 1.1 hundredths, we have the function x squared plus 1. In our solution, we have the square of negative 1.1 hundredths plus 1 equals to 1.201 ten thousandths plus 1 is 2.201 ten thousandths. For the third value, if x is equal to negative 1.1 thousandths, we have the function x squared plus 1. In our solution, we have the square of negative 1.1000 plus 1 equals to 1.2001 millions plus 1 is equal to 2.2001 millions. For the final value, we have if x is equal to negative 1 in our function x squared plus 1. In our solution, we have the square of negative 1 plus 1 equals to 1 plus 1, and the final answer is 2. So this table of values represents the limits of the function x squared plus 1 as x approaches to negative 1 from the left. The next thing we're going to do is to fill up the table of values that represents the limit of x squared plus 1 as x approaches to negative 1 from the right. We have the table of values negative 1, negative 0.9999 tenthousands, negative 0.99 hundredths, and negative 0.8. If x equal to negative 1, we have the function x squared plus 1. In our solution, we have the square of negative 1 plus 1 equals to 1 plus 1. The answer is 2. If x equal to negative 0.9999 tenthousands, we have the function x squared plus 1. In our solution, we have the square of negative 0.9999 tenthousands plus 1 equals to 99,981,100 millions plus 1. The final answer is 1.99,980,100 millions. For the next value, if x is equal to negative 0.99 hundredths, we have the function x squared plus 1. In our solution, we have the square of negative 0.99 plus 1. The answer is 0.9801 tenthousands plus 1. The final answer is 1.9801 tenthousands. For the last value, if x equal to negative 0.8, we have the function x squared plus 1. In our solution, we have the square of negative 0.8 plus 1 equals to 0.64 hundredths plus 1. Our final answer is 1.64 hundredths. Now we're going to combine the two table of values in order to get the limit of our function. In here, as x approaches to negative 1 from the left, f of x approaches to 2. As x approaches to negative 1 from the right, f of x approaches to 2. Using this table of values, we can now get the limit of our function x squared plus 1, which is 2. We can also get the limit of our function x squared plus 1 as x approaches to negative 1 using graphical representations. In our graph, we can see as x approaches to negative 1 from the right, we can get the value of y, which is 2. As x approaches to negative 1 from the left, we can also get the value of y, which is 2. So, using these graphical representations, we can also conclude that the limit of x squared plus 1 as x approaches to negative 1 is 2. As you observed from our previous examples, we always say as x approaches to c from the left, as x approaches to c from the right, but we do not know how to write it using symbols. We have this note: if x approaches to c from the left, then we write the limit of f as x approaches to c from the left. The negative symbol represents the direction towards left. If x approaches to c from the right, then we write the limit of f as x approaches to c from the right. The symbol positive represents the direction towards to the right direction. In order to get the limit of a function, we should follow this theorem. The limit of f as x approaches to c is L, if and only if the limit of f as x approaches to c from the left is L, and the limit of f as x approaches from the right, it only means that the limit from the left and the limit from the right must be equal in order to get the limit of our function. So the question is, what if the limit from the left and the limit from the right of our value is not equal? The answer for that one is this. The limit of f as x approaches to c does not exist whenever the limit of f of x as x approaches to c from the left is not equal to the limit of f as x approaches to c from the right. We have this example. Evaluate the given limit of f as x approaches to 0. We can see in this graphical representation of the function, as x approaches to 0 from the right, the value is different from as x approaches to 0 from the left. Since the limit or the value of the two directions is not equal, we can now conclude that the limit of f as x approaches to 0 does not exist. We're not going to use equal symbol since does not exist is not a value. At dyan nagtatapos ang video lesson na ito. Muli, ako si Raymart Emerson Ubungel na nag-iwan ng katagang be familiar with calculus but never associate yourself with limits. See you when I see you. Bye-bye!